Okay guys, really quickly, I am in the new CLO3D 7.0.242, just released. So this tutorial is not really about this dress. You will see it on my Instagram at the Fashion Indie. On Instagram, you'll see the dress in action, in animation. But I wanted to show you something really quick, tips in 10. I'm going to pause while I open up my DAZ 3D, and then we're going to explore how to create your own HDRI image in Photoshop for CLO3D. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back. I just wanted to give my avatar a pose. So while she's transitioning into her custom pose that I created for this avatar, I'm going to open up my Photoshop. I already have a file open. At the end, it will look something like this, but we're going to give a couple of different things a try. So I'm going to open up my file, and I am going to go to a new file, and this is the last file. So Photoshop usually saves the last file. So let's look at the settings for the last file. 8,000 by 4,000. Remember, this is going to be a huge background. It's going to be a HDR, so it's going to be your entire environment. I have it right now at 300 pixels, and this is very important. 32-bit RGB, transparent background, and this is it. So 32-bit. Make sure that in Photoshop you are saving this. I'm going to save this as HDRI, HDR experiment. Okay. And I know there's a way to save it as a template, but we'll do that later. I'll have a template for you guys to download. All right, so now here I am. So I'm gonna add 4 layers. I'm gonna add 4 layers, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna keep this one as the background. I'm doing this fast, tips in 10. Okay, background. Let's just make this back. Right is the next one. Right. Front. And left. So now if we're reading left to right, back is first. Right is second. Front is third, and left is at the end. So I'm going to create zones in these really quick so you can see right here. This would be about where your back would be. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in a color. Actually, let me make this square. So your back. Let's just change the color real quick. If you notice, because you're in 32-bit color, there's something different about your color palette here. But I'm just going to add this blue on the layer of right. And then we're just going to remember that. Let's just make it almost even. Right. And then let's do another layer, and we're going to fill it on the next one, which is your front. Let's make this a little bit wider, front. And then we're going to fill this with a different color. Let's do yellow just so we can remember that is the front. So let's get rid of this marquee on this layer here. Okay. And then you're going to do your left. Make another box. And that's your left. Okay. So we can remember those zones. I'm going to make this pink. A sort of a salmon color. Okay. So basically, you're in your HDR environment. When you bring this into the environment, this white section will be what is transmitted in the back. This blue section is what will be transmitted on the right side. This yellow section is sort of where your front this will face the front of the avatar. So this will be in front of the avatar's face. And this pink will be to the left of the avatar. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make another layer. I'm going to put it all the way at the top, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and give my background a color. Let's do black. Let's just see it all in black and white right now. So right now I'm going to put in black on my background. What's happening here? Oh, okay. That's not what I wanted to do. I want black. Blackity black. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and drop the square into the background. I'm going to hide all the other layers. All right, so I'm going to hide. Now we have our black. Bam. Okay, so I'm going to take I'm going to work on this layer here. I'm going to lock this background layer. Where's lock layer? Oh, I always forget about it. It's here. Okay. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to my brush tool, and I already have it at like 512, and I'm going to make this white. Let's just change this to be white, and we're going to do a black and white HDRI. So now you remember where your colors are. So if we're doing something on this layer and we want it to show up in the back, I'm going to do it here. So I'm just going to make a stripe here in the white on this layer. Oh, wait. Let's do this. Let's make a straight line, right? And now remember the right is here. So I'm just going to do 2 dots. Let's just see what happens. I'm going to do 2 dots for the right. Let's see, for the front, we have a little bit more leeway to play with. So I'm going to go ahead on this layer and I'm going to make something that will light up her face sort of towards the middle, and we're gonna, I keep not holding my shift key. I just want a straight line, hold shift, get like that. And now I'm gonna go to the left. So the left, I'm gonna kind of leave it a little bit overlapping. So remember, your left is here, and I'm gonna leave it a little sliver of overlap. I'm just gonna do that. Okay, so I'm going to now save this as my HDR image. So it is really save, and then you should get the, nope, that's not it. Okay, it should be save as. Save a copy. Oh my God, I couldn't remember. So save a copy. This is going to flatten your image. You're going to save a copy as Radiance HDR. I'm just going to save it to my desktop. I'm on my desktop. I'm going to name this, right, I'm just going to put a number 1 here. 1. Okay, so now that's saved out. Now let's see what the effect is in our CLO3D render. And she's already got her subtle pose, subtle fashion movement pose. I see something happening here with her hairline. Oh boy. This is actually needing to be another texture. And we're going to change that there. Okay. Sorry. You know, so many little things to check out here. So let me just go into our render settings. I'm already there. And I'm going to refresh. I'm going to go into my lighting panel. We're at 10 minutes, guys. I'm going to cut out that. I think I cut out me trying to figure where the file was, right? So now I have her here, right? I'm gonna just check out the lighting, and I'm gonna add my HDR from my desktop, HDR EXP, bam. Ooh. Now let me show you what I was going for by putting black on the HDR. I'm gonna up the lighting intensity to about 4. Right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, on the background, I'm going to take out the background. Yeah, texture. I'm going to make the background black as well. Okay? So now I've got sort of a nice dramatic light. So let me tell you what's going to happen now. I can also change the direction of the angle, and you're going to start to see some of these things show up. So before we had 0 degrees, right? 0. We have the light right in front of her. So if we zoom in, we're going to see in her eyes that there is a light. And we can kind of see that here. So we can see my HDR is having some sort of effect in her eyes, which sometimes people want that. They want that look of, let's do 6. Oh, it only goes up to 4. Thanks very much, Chloe. But we're going to turn it and we're going to see some things happen in her eyes and change the angle slightly. Right, so now you see that there's another side of the HDR that we can use. Let's just do our regular 30 degrees. Let's do our 60. Circular angles, 90 degrees. So now she's getting into sort of a soft silhouette. Let's do 180. So now we've got like a key light in the back. And let's do 270. So now the light's back on the other side of her face. And, oh, 270. Hello. Oh, what's happening here? You guys don't do around the world in a day? You only do 180 and 180. So 180 and 180 is 360. Let's see, negative 90. There we are. So now you can make some interesting lights. So now we're going to do phase 2. I'm just going to use the same file, and I'm going to go ahead and render this out just like this in the background so that we can see what's going on with these eyes here. I'm not real sure about these eyes. I think I need a little bit of more light on these glassy eyes. Yeah, maybe that'll be okay. All right, so I think it's just a render situation, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let's see, which one do I like. Kind of half and half, a little bit more, less. So you can go ahead and make your own choices with this HDR. And we're going to do 2 more things. I'm going to add a background to it, and then I'm going to actually add some color so you can see how you can get some color going on there. It's pretty much, I mean, cut and dry. Once you get this down, you should know, you know, anything. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add another layer, but I'm going to go ahead and pick some different colors, because here's the thing. You can change the lighting intensity here. So if I want to do, let's do some kind of cyber colors so you guys can really see the effect. And I'm gonna go up, let's go up on the stop, and let's go up on the intensity, so that when I mark this out with my brush, I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna mark this out with my brush. This was where her eyes were. This was kind of what we were seeing left and right side. So I'm gonna go ahead and do something a little bit on the top overhead, and then I'm going to do something right here in pink. And now I'm going to change my color to blue, and I'm going to keep the intensity. I'm just make the intensity a little bit higher, and let's just do some blue here, some blue here, some blue here, and some blue here. Okay, so now I'm going to save this out again. So let me just, I don't even know if you need to do this, but I really believe that you do. So I'm going to go ahead and save as, save a copy. So save a copy. And that will give me my HDR on my radiance drop down. And I'm going to go here, experiment number 2. So let's just look at that real quick, and then we're going to go to getting a background like what you see here. I'm probably actually going to use this file. So, but I'm going to show you how I made it. Okay. I'm going to use this same file, but I'm going to show you how I made the other one. Okay, so Chloe, and I'm going to change this HDR to HDR2 on my desktop. Bam, you're going to see some beautiful colors. Look at that, look at that. So you can see that now the intensity is a little different, because before on the first one I didn't really use too much intensity. So when we were here at 1, it didn't look as bright. So this one I could do 2 and you'll start to see pops of color. But I guess I like 4 the best for what I want to do right now in this experiment. But also remember, now that you have these colors here, you can change the direction. Remember, you have, that's pretty. So not only, I think I'm kind of focused on her face, but I mean, you focus on the clothes, you can kind of get an idea of what you want to see. Higher contrast, you know, where that light is located. Is it flushing her out? It's pretty soft. I kind of like it a lot. And then you can see that she's got that key light effect. Depending on where you are, you can really get it to set up an amazing lighting render. So what I would do is just play around with the intensity and play around with different things. So now let's try to do one more thing. I'm gonna just try to put in a photo. Just make sure you give credit where credit is due. I will not in this video, but I want to. I may write it down in the comment section or in the description. So I'm gonna go ahead and import. I'm gonna place embedded. I'm always downloading something, so let's see something reasonable like this photograph here. So now that I've put in a photo, right, I can go ahead and make changes to this photo. Let's make it like this. Let's show some of the above and below. So what I'm going to do to this layer is I'm going to lighten it. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to leave this so we can see the difference, right? So I'm going to lighten it. I'm going to add some brightness to it. Now this brightness is going to aid the HDRI and the contrast. So I'm just going to contrast a little bit more, make it a little bit brighter. And we're going to just take a look at how that looks. And you can play around until you get pops of light from the actual background photo. And then I'm going to save a copy and irradiance number 3. And we're going to see what happens here. Oh, that does. Okay, let me go to irradiance number 3. What did I do here? Oh, did I not save it on desktop? Save a copy. Downloads. Oh God. All right, let me just save it in the right place. Save a copy. Desktop. Radiance. Radiance 3. All right, guys. I'm coming on 20 minutes. This ain't no tips and 10. Oh boy. Okay. So now we're gonna pull this in. Radiance 3 experiment. Now you're talking. Bam. So now I can kind of go down to 2. Or maybe not. I can change my lighting angle. But also I can show the dome light. I can change the intensity a little bit so you get a pretty soft thing. And let's just play around with the direction. Let's get something good in the background. Oh, nice. Yeah, I got too much contrast going on there. That's why it's kind of yellow. But if you get something like this, and that will fill up your screen. Play with your camera angles. Change my field of view. And then I can zoom in. How about that? So I do have a touch of the studio type of lights in there, But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down off of this to be like 35, right? And then I'm going to zoom out just a bit so she's not too distorted. And then I'm going to go back to my Photoshop and I'm going to take out one of these smart filters, brightness of contrast. It's making this very orange. So I'm going to take out the smart filter and I'm going to play with a few things, lighten, screen, dodge. Let's try that one. Linear dodge, linear add dodge, difference, extrusion. Oh. You can play around, guys. Like this might come out to be a nice HDRI. That might be a nice one too. Luminosity. So let's go for dodge, right? Okay. Save a copy. HDR and 4. Last one. Let's try it. I'm going to leave her settings the way that they are. I'm just going to change the HDRI in the lightings panel to number 4. Let's see if it just resets everything. I hope not. 4. Let's do a refresh. Stop. Very subtle change. I don't think you guys saw that, but it's very subtle. Let's see if we still have that orangey look in the back. It's less orangey. So this is something you can play with and do and get you a nice looking HDRI. Play with your model where you want her to look and be. Zoom in on her face, which I'm always doing. I love the faces. And then take down your intensity. Change it. Oh, that's pretty. So I still have those studio points which can give a little pop to her eyes, a little bit of natural looking light to her eyes. Change her angle a little bit. Bam. Alright, so I'm going to render this out for you guys. See you on Instagram, and this is my post for what's today? Today's Friday. Yeah, guys. Happy weekend. Bye-bye.